What's going on, everyone, and welcome to the Cup of Nations for Rome 2 2024. We are in the playoff stage, and we have quite a few really good battles to go through from the playoffs so far. Um, and yeah, so I wanted to get to the first of these matchups, you could say, which is from the quarterfinals, I believe. It is double elimination, so no one will be eliminated, but obviously sucks to be in the lower bracket early, as it's hard to get back to the final. But we have Sofado as Massilia and Soap as Arevaci. Two very good factions and two pretty good players as well. So this should be an absolute banger of a series. So, without further ado, let's just get right into it. It's a long series, spoiler alert, but it should be an absolute banger. So let's go. This is a very good matchup, I would say. And yeah, I think Arevaci one of the most broken factions in the con this year around, I would say. Reason being is they have 7 melee and 5 same, which means because they have Painted Warriors and Scutaria, both pretty good and very cheap mid-tier, 620 for the Scutaria, 640 for the Painted Warriors, means that you can really spam 7 mid-tiers, and you can get 6 cav if you really want to, 5 Celtiberian cav and the Noble Cavalry Gen, and you also have Scutaria Spears for 500 and the Iberian Spears for a little bit less at 200, so you can really spam a very, efficient infantry spam, cav spam, rush type of deal. However, you can also go the complete opposite direction. You can go 5 Balearics and good cav and 7 mid-tiers. You can really kind of do whatever you want, but either way, it's going to be very strong. The one weakness for Arevaci is Missile Cav, because they don't really want to bring the Cantabrian Cav for 500. It's not really a great deal. It doesn't give you a lot of value, and if you have to bring 2, for example, then it really cuts down on your money for the rest of your army without giving you that much value, except to block the enemy Jav Cav. So Massilia, on the other hand, has another strong infantry rush with the Hippeus Lancers, Massilian Cav, and then a mix of Celtics and Axes and Levy Freeman. So good potential there, and kind of stops Soap from bringing arguably the stronger build, which is the Balearic army, but you don't really want to go for 5 Balearics against this Massilian rush, because A, there's Tarentines on the field, which will be quite annoying, uh, and if you bring your own your own Chav Cav, then you're really going to be lacking everywhere else with the 5 Balearics or 4 Balearics. But also because the cavalry advantage is firmly in Massilia's favor in this matchup. Noble Cavalry obviously is great, but the Celtiberians being only medium will get really hammered by the Hippeus Lancers. So better, I think, play here is to at least go balanced, if not more infantry cav heavy, which is exactly what Soap has decided to do, at least in game 1 here. I guess we can quickly go over the armies. They're already quite close to each other, so I don't want to play quite yet. So we have 2 Massilian Hoplites, along with 1, 2, 3, 4 Axe Warriors and 2 Celt Warriors, which means he really has like 8 swords, essentially, because Massilian Hoplites are quite good. Obviously, they're expensive, that's certainly the case, but still very, very good, because they can kill the mid-tiers of Arevaci, which is kind of the only thing, it won't be a great cost-effective trade, but it just adds to the power. Massilia doesn't really have any other units after they get 6 melee, besides Massilian Hoplites that can really add to their melee power, so this gives them even more melee strength, and you can see it doesn't really harm their cav force, because he still has 4 Pace Lancers, 2 Massilian Cav, and 2 Tarentines, so that's 8 Cav, all quite good. I mean, Tarentine's going to be really good against, shooting down Cav. Also, with the mass, they can charge units in the late game. And there's no answer for them, sorry, on the battlefield. So they're just going to have free reign. They can surround. They force Arevaci units to stand and face backwards, which means the frontage is a little bit less for Arevaci. He also has 1, 2, 3, 4 Levy Freeman. Why not? It's going to really be annoying as well, just to make sure his units get into good fights. Because his mid-tiers, obviously his Axe Warriors and his Celtics, or his swords, will lose to the mid-tiers of Arevaci, the Painted Warriors and the Scutaria. So he's relying on his cav advantage and sort of his Massilian Hoplites and just general spam to win the day. Arevaci, on the other hand, has exactly the army I would suggest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 Scutarii, 2 Painted Warriors for the 7 melee, 5 Celtiberian Cav, 1 Noble Cav, 2 Slingers, just to make out the numbers, probably because he hit up against the infantry cap of 11, which means he probably has 4 spears, and actually has 5 spears, so maybe the infantry is 12. 12 and 6 is 18, yeah, so that makes sense. So 2 Slayers to get to 20, but Scutarii, Iberian, Scutarii, Scutarii. So 4 Scutarii spears, 1 Iberian spear. I mean, this is just an insane army. Like, literally, the Scutarii spears are decent enough in melee. Obviously, they can kill Levy Freeman, they can do a lot of damage to Cav, and he still has 7 mid-tiers to contest the, yes, 8, you can call them mid-tiers, or like swords, including the Massilian hoplites, but the Scutarii and the Painted Warriors will win against literally every single one except for the Massilian Hoplites, and they'll even trade cost effectively in the Massilian Hoplites most of the time. So it's really going to be on these Lancers to cause absolute mayhem, and the Tarentines as well. And also the fact that he has 2 more infantry units, right? These 2 slingers, you know, they'll be good if they can survive for a long time, but if not, you know, they'll be a liability when the rush comes in. So let's see how it goes for Soft on the rush here. I mean, it's basically a rush for both sides. It's just going to be a fucking slam into each other type of game. Whoever gets the better of the engagement will just win. Nice early shots here. You get into the value of the Tarentines. These, you know, are very, very damaging. So probably shouldn't allow this. He's going to get slinger shots eventually here. No, maybe not. But this should be spear cover all day. There's literally no reason. Because, like, Soft isn't even close, right? Like, should be, like, Iberian Spear back here, or Scutaria Spears if you want to sacrifice the Iberian Spears on the charge. But Soft is very wide, Soap a little bit more narrow, so Soap is just going to rush one direction. I think when I see this, I think Soft should just hammer into this, honestly, because he's moving, he's not going to get as good Pila. Just send it. Here he will get counter Pila. If he's aware. Oh, but they were like doing the little running thing. So Soft kind of gets away with it there. But ends up getting like a lot of damage on the Painted Warrior, good damage on this Painted Warrior, and of course the HP damage as well. They are in loose formation, so we're going to take a little bit less damage, but nothing significant. And here comes the attack, it looks like. Soft needs to be more active on the right, probably. He's going to send it back up. Yeah, it's probably a wise move. He does have the hill here, though, so I would kind of take the fight, I think. Use the hill to your advantage. Soft's even rotating more towards the hill, but he needs to be careful here. He needs to get the charge directly into these Celt-Iberian Cav with his Lancers. Don't waste the Levy Freeman for the Pila here, because the charge is going to be so much more devastating. Here on the Noble Horse, though, I like this. Get the Pila off. And indeed they will. And they're going to kill... I don't know why you would use the Noble Horse at the start of the game like this. Not going to kill too many. But a second volley of Pila may come in from the axes here. A few of them decided they could hit something, but not really getting anything great. But the Axis will come in and do well here because these Guitari's charge is going to be blocked. Nice charge here into both units from the Pace Lancers. Again, it's just charges down the line, right? Lancers got a Pila volley on them, it looks like, from this Guitari's spear, but they're still going to get an excellent charge here. They take this all day. And now we take stock. The Celtic Warriors going to get a great engagement from the flank with the Massilian Cav Gen. This is going to be really nice because the charge again was going to be absolutely blocked. They're going to be an Axe Warrior coming in here. This fight is going to be dominating for Sofado. Here, again, Lancer got a great charge. This Guitar already lost 30 men on the charge, so this Massilian Hoplite going to do great. Here, you know, the Levy Freeman ate the charge, got a few kills on the Noble Cav, but ultimately this fight will be in favor of the Scutarii here against just an Axe Warrior. So that fight's going to be good for Soap. Over here, not many things happening yet. You would imagine that this fight will be good for the Massilian Hoplite, given that the Scutarii were charge blocked here. And here again, gotta be a nice charge from the base Lancers into the Scutarii, so you'd expect these Axe Warriors to comfortably win this. However, the key factor is there's still a lot of units in reserve for Arevaci, whereas, you know, Levy Freeman are dying, and, you know, the base Lancers are going to be taking some damage, whereas most of the Celt-Iberian Cav are pretty healthy. So I think the question at this point in the battle is, will this flank and this flank get enough value to counteract the fact that the center is probably going to break? And also, how much Cav damage will there be? Always a good question. Now the Tarentines can snipe. Probably, honestly, I would just charge Painted Warriors. Fuck it. Well, here comes the engage. Actually, not going to get a charge here, but still should be fine. Good charges here. Lancer's not losing all that many men either, which is really good. Here, though, he didn't get these Axe Warriors in or the Celtic Warriors in, so that's a bit of a problem. Nice engagement here again for the Lancers. They kill, you know, entire unit. He actually gets a second charge. I'm kind of not sure about that one. I feel like it would actually just go into that guy with a charge, so it's kind of okay, I guess. And he's gonna get in here now. I can pull out, I guess, but he's gonna lose a lot of men for that. It's a bit risky. Still, though, I like this game for Soft so far. Celtic Warriors gonna get in here on this Guitaria. They have an advantage. Combat will be pretty close. This base is dead. But a lot of these Celtics or Celt-Iberians are also pretty low. Popping cavalry counter tactics. Big thing you should realize, when you pop cavalry counter tactics, it resets the javelin throwing animation, so they didn't get javelins here. Meaning that the cavalry counter tactic is not going to do all that much for you, right? Like, I mean, they're just going to get knocked over and die, and the Cav's going to pull out. Here, 104 Scutaria against 104 Axes, so Scutaria will win that long term, obviously. Good fight here, though, for the axes, and on this flank looks pretty dominating for Soft. So I think Soft has got the better of the engagements. Now he just has to clean it up with what he has left, and it's not to say that that's trivial or anything. Still Painted Warriors en masse here, another Painted Warrior here, which is going to start to cook. Because the Scutarii Spears kind of just ate that charge. But Celtic Warrior is huge here. Scutarii not having a good time. It's still a lot of cav. Tarentine's still very, very much alive as well, and the Massilian cav actually will do pretty well against Celtiberian cav in melee, given the cost difference. Slinger's getting no value pretty much for 4 kills. Almost think you just take the Javelin Men, right? Like, you know he's going to bring a lot of cav, just bring the Javelin Men. There is a concentration of red flags in this area, but soon enough, this unit will get back into the fray. This isolated unit's going to die to the cav advantage. You can see the Celtiberian cav just didn't do very much in this matchup. They got owned on the charge by the Tipeus and just got killed by infantry and never really made their way into the fight. These fights will slowly turn in their favor, but there's so many free cav units and pretty healthy infantry units as well. Might as well get a brew charge here, kill this unit off. We'll see if the general though can start to make a difference. Here, Massilian cav again, 50 men. They're gonna easily win this. I don't care. It says losing decisively. That's fake news. Another Lancer gonna get in here. He really needs to prioritize rear charges on infantry though, because long term this will start to get dicey because his infantry will start to win. But fortunately, I think he got such good initial engagements that it's not really the case here. Most of his engagements are quite fine. And yeah, I mean things are going to be cleaned up. So a comfortable victory for Soft in game 1. I mean, not much to analyze. He just got the better of the charges. The question that Soap has to answer for himself in these games is, how do you stop the Lancers? Either you're trying to Pila them when they charge in, or are you sacrificing Cav, a charge on your Cav in order to get your infantry in? Because if you're getting Pila'd, then your infantry are dying, your Scutarii Spears are dying, and that could be problematic because then you're just running out of infantry, right? And then the Lancers will lose 10 men, but now they'll be killing your entire Scutarii Spear basically with the infantry follow-up, and now it'll be your cav is just isolated against cavalry and infantry. Or you use your cav to block, and now your infantry is probably healthier, but you might lose a lot of your cav. So a big question that Soap has to answer. I'm not really sure there's necessarily one way to think about that. But you can see the infantry. None of the infantry for Sofado, of course, got charged, right? The Lancers, no chevrons, but just so much value in terms of giving the infantry the winning fight, and also a lot of kills on cav as well. So, it makes everything easy to clean up. And the Tarentines, so many kills on the Tarentines, just no answer for them. So, really good first game for Soft. We'll see if Soap can turn it around in game 2. And just tab out real quick. All right. Yeah, game 2. Let's go. Yeah, neither side making a single change, so we really expect to see a repeat. This suggests to me that Soap said, okay, I did something wrong in my engagement, I'm going to fix it. One thing I don't like, why is this infantry so close together? Like, the gap between these lines is so small that a single cav charge can easily hit multiple units. I would put my spears way further in front, so that if a unit charges them, these guys will get Pila, but none of the cavalry models will actually hit them, allowing the infantry to get more clean charge, right? That will mean that you'll do more damage to the Lancers without sacrificing as many of your own men to the cav charge, making the cav charge less valuable. This game is a bit longer, but yeah, still kind of has the same feel, of course. Just given the armies, there's almost no point in skirmishing. Skirmishing with the slingers is risky because you're turning your back, you're running away, and it allows potentially Massilia to run at you with momentum, and you might miss more Pila, you might just have too much micro on your hands and just miss charges. So it almost feels like Soap kind of wants to just pick a point to just hold, and either countercharge or just accept the charges and Pila the cav. This time, though, he's going to get the hill. It's good. Soft says it's fine. I'm just going to rotate it to the other side. This is the logical decision. Don't ever fight downhill if you can afford it. So he's going to pull way, way back, just to give Soap the opportunity to take the hill, but then push, beyond it onto the flat ground, which actually is pretty far away. So yeah, Soft is retreating a very safe distance here. This hill will not really impact things anymore, so you kind of want to fight maybe like this. So the hill really doesn't have anything. Actually, in that case, the hill will anchor your right flank, which could be good. But But anyway, yeah, Soft doing the right thing here completely. Tarentine's still having good impact. Like I refuse to believe that it's a good idea for Soap to allow these shots. Even facing forward, I would not allow these shots. Because like realistically, these Tarantines are not going to be able to use all their javelins on Cav. If they can, like, great. But them doing 3 or 4 volleys on Skutaria and just damaging them is great. Here's Sofado going to go for a Cav shot, though he'll get it as well. Nice shot into the Noble Cav as well, so added damage there. Gets a kill. Does a lot of HP damage. I think he's also abusing the fact that because these guys are in loose formation, they don't turn as fast, and it's kind of hard for them to throw the Pila on the Cav, so he has more time to react. And here again, because... Oh, okay, they actually shot this Skutaria, so... Take it out. But here a couple more javelins will come in on the Cav. This is a bit risky, though. I mean, these guys should 100% throw Pila. Oh, but the reason why is there's an engagement going on. Did not catch that. So this time, the engagement was decisively, like, led by Soap. He charged into the Massilia hot blade. Not that I'd really want to charge it, to be honest. But I don't know, Pila, so that's okay. Good charge from the Lancers here. Levy Freeman just eats shit and dies, but kills 5 Noble Cavs, so like kind of okay. Tarentine's not getting Pila, it's kind of ridiculous. But Soap is definitely in a good spot here because he has so many units in this area. Whereas look at these units are so far away. It's not great at all. But these engagements are pretty decent. Lancer's gonna lose 5 men there, but Axes and Celtics coming in just to crush these units, and you can see he has an extra Cav unit which could smack this Skutarii, which is probably a good play. Noble Cav gonna go for another charge. Like, this seems suicidal. Oh, Soft tries to retarget, but he's probably gonna be too late to throw Pila. Yeah, but it's not a great charge from the Noble Cav. Like, a lot of these Lady Freemen are not getting knocked down, so they're gonna be able to impart their 25 bonus versus Cav. And also, a Pila volley comes in and actually catches maybe some of the Noble Cav, as well as catching this Painted Warrior. So it's gonna be a good engagement because these Painted Warriors are not gonna charge, and also you could just recharge with the Lancer and just easily knock them all over. This Massilian Cav though ate a Pila volley trying to run away, but they easily kill up his Skutarii Spear, which is great. They're also peeling this Cav, which is really nice. But you would probably want this Massilian Cav to block the charge here. This engagement will be very nice for Soap as long as he gets the charge. Massilian Cav trying to come back, but they should be too slow here. Gotta peel the back of this Cav though, doing a lot of damage there. So again, early engagement's going very nicely. Soft decides to suicide for the Slinger. I think I honestly wouldn't, although he's really fast to micro this, so it's kind of okay. He actually gets stuck though. That's the risk. Tarentine's charging the Skutarii Spears, that was probably not worth. Here in the center, again, these Painted Warriors didn't get a charge, and they're really dependent on the charge, so the Axe Warriors should do well. This fight, again, looking pretty decent. I don't think the Skutarii got a good charge at all, so the Celtics will do well. They might lose ultimately. Here, the Lancers are getting another charge into these Skutarii, getting some damage, but probably this is a bad fight to be in long term. But these Axe Warriors are crushing again. So actually, Sofado has somehow managed to get more resources into the fight. Because Soap was very concentrated. He should have been trying to outflank these engagements with his infantry. I mean, good on Sofado for blocking the flank, but like he should be sending more shit to the flank and just crushing this while these units are super far away and just giving up the flank here, just holding like a line like this or something and flanking around. Try to kill these units before these units can die. Because there's no way Saul can realistically flank all the way around a line that's like held like this. It'll just take too long. Like maybe Cav can do it, but Cav alone doing that is not really good. So infantry are kind of out of that fight. Whereas Soap could more easily flank these units with infantry support. You can even cut the gaps or something, right? So I think that should have been his plan here. Because now it actually looks like Soft has the majority of his forces in the right spot, right? He has good engagement here. Gonna get a decent engagement here when these axes charge in. He's a good engagement here with Cav support. And only like 2 of his melee units plus a Massilian hot player out of the fight, whereas 1, 2, 3 units are kind of out of the fight. So kind of 3 to 3, but these units are more valuable, and the Skutarii Spear, and another Skutarii Spear, right? And the Cav are not really in a good spot, whereas all the Cav, except for the General, which I think he forgot about, are in the fight and doing damage for Massilia here. So Soft is actually maneuvering himself into a pretty good spot. Now he just has to, micro, get those Lancers to safety. Here the Tarentines are actually just gonna kill, long term, just kill these Hill-type Cav with their javelins. Good micro from Soft again. Another great charge here. Crushing his Skutarii Spear. Massilian Hotblade can follow up. And again, he just has the numbers. He can crush this flank whenever he wants because he just has so many numbers here. The Lancer can pull out, charge this Guitaria. The General, ideally would be over here on the flank. And this flank doesn't look like it's going to fall. So I think Soft will have this game pretty handily. He just needs to sit here and wait for the fights to go in his favor. Nice, yeah, he did exactly what I said. He's just going to charge into the back of this Guitaria. He should have just accepted that. So Guitaria's Spearman will come in. This Lancer's going to eat shit for this. But these Axes, Levy Freeman coming around the flank. Celtic Warriors here to cycle charge. Because these Guitaria actually did get a decent charge here. And again, Lancer's getting more charges. These are just spears, so the Axe will clean this up. Axe is going to clean this fight up with the Massilian hoplites. Slowly losing on this flank, as we'd expect, but again, he has no flanking action, so these fights are going to take a long time. I'm actually surprised these Celtics routed so quickly. Maybe he actually got a charge in there, I'm not sure. Massilian Cav kind of got into a bad place, but they're actually fast. They're medium. They could maybe escape here. Okay, he's just going to refight. Yeah, that's probably the smart decision. And now, the General activates. Okay, the Terrantine's finally going to get caught, but they have drawn this Celtiberian Cav out of the fight. Now, okay, huge full Lancer unit just says, I'll eat a Celtiberian for lunch there. And now there's more Cav. And you can see there's just, the Cav are dying so fast for Soap. He's not able to keep them alive. And they're just dying, which means the Lancers are using their survivability and their ability to kill the Cav on the charge to great effect. His Cav is always in better positions than Soap's Cav, and also they got so many early charges. Soap did get a few charges this game early on, but look at these Lancers. They're just getting rear charges, they're breaking through the lines, they're causing chaos, they're getting initial charges to even out the infantry fight. They're doing more work than Soap's Cav. Soap's Cav is not getting charges at the start of the game, and they're still dying mid-game when they should be like the last ones alive in this situation because they're if he's not charging, his Cav is fully healthy, whereas the Lancers are taking damage, but even still the Lancers are killing all the Cav, so this is dominant position for Soft here. Maybe cycle here, and I'm just gonna recharge, that's fine. Lancers just, there's no defense. Also, Soap is very isolated. Like he rotated this way and then also rotated back to fight here. So now these units are isolated, and these guys who Soft started fighting, Soft rotated into these fights and supported them, whereas Soap kind of stayed spread out and tried to fight everywhere. But that just means that the Lancers eventually broke through on one side, happened to be the right and the center here. And now they're just recharging everything. And, the left is still kind of on lock. But the Lancers also played a part in these fights, so these fights are not even going great for Soap, and you're also just letting the Lancers have free roam, whereas he kind of needs to stay together. He needs to play compact so that units can support each other, because he has a lot better infantry with the Scutaria and the Scutaria Spears, but they're, alone, the Lancers are the strongest unit on the field, right, and they can just insta-crush units, and that's what's happening. They're getting charges into units at the start of the game, destroying them, killing 40, 50 guys on a charge, retreating with, maybe 5, 10 losses, coming back in again, getting another free charge. And when things are able to, when the Lancers are able to cycle out, get more charges, infantry is supporting, it's super effective. And then, he's able to recharge things in the late game, whereas the Celtiberian Cav are finding themselves alone against Lancers far too often. Even here, you can see it's like they get a direct charge and they just kill like 30, they'll kill like 30 dudes on the charge. And then, yeah, there's a spear, but there's also an axe warrior in support, right? So the axe warrior can tie down the spear and he can run away. You can run away backwards because this Celtiberian Cav is literally just dead on the charge. So Soap is finding the Hippeus Lancers to be a massive problem, and he's not able to do enough damage to them at the start of the game, peeling them down or whatever. So Soft looks very comfortable. The General finally activating, but he's just taking damage to 116 kills, so it's pretty decent, but no Chevron yet, so these aren't the most valuable kills, probably based on Levy Freeman and maybe some Axe Warriors, which don't cost too much, obviously, even though killing them is actually quite valuable. And yeah, Soft just needs to sit here and clean up. He's gonna get fuel on these Cav. Maybe not, but it doesn't matter. And yeah, another comfortable game. Lancers this time actually did better than last time. They just had more freedom than the last game, honestly, because I think Soap just lacked a little bit of direction there. He didn't know where he wanted to commit his force when he should have just committed to the first fight he found and sort of stayed in and fought around that battle. But instead he kind of spread out, and that just favored the Lancers big time, especially because his crushing initial charges from the Massilian side killed a lot of the Scutarii spears, which meant that there was no spear support left on the field. And the spears were quite spread out, right? So everywhere was kind of ISO, and they would eventually get tied down, even by just Levy Freeman, allowing the Lancers to then 1v1 the Celtiberian Cav, kill them off, and move on and start recharging infantry. So, very dominant from Sofado. Soap has to change something soon, or he'll be in trouble. So, I'll see if he changes his army at all, or just the strat. Well, the answer is he did not change the army. Same thing. So we expect that he has to change the strat. So he has changed his deployment though. He's got all 7 of his infantry straight up. He's got the Scutaria Spears in reserve. So this means 100% if he doesn't do this, he's going to lose the game. He's going to be YOLO charging his cav this game. To block the charges, tie everything down, and he's going to get his infantry in clean. He says, look, enough of this. Yeah, so this, the Scutaria Spears have been charged and just die, and then the Massilian cav, or the Celtiberian cav, sorry, haven't gotten enough value, off the fact that the Lancers are using their charge on the Scutaria Spears. Sorry. So this time I think he's gonna say, look, my spears are gonna be in reserve. I'm gonna charge my fucking cabin. That way my infantry is guaranteed to get a good fight, and the infantry will start to cook, right? The infantry will start winning, and that's gonna force Sofado to play aggressively with the Lancers, and then he's saying, look, now I can play combined arms. The remnants of my cav and the Scutaria Spears should be enough to hold my rear, because now I don't have to attack. I just have to hold my rear when my infantry wins. So that's probably the change up. And also allow him to be a little more aggressive and maybe catch Soft in some places without getting a good engagement, right? Whereas Soft has been the aggressor every single time, which means that a lot of times he's getting charges in places that Soap doesn't want, like into infantry or into multiple units at once. But if Soap is a bit more aggressive, maybe Sofado will be caught off guard, maybe he gets some good engagements, and then the game is pretty free, actually. So here comes the aggro. But so far, Sofado seems aware. He says, look, I know you're going to charge you're going to charge forward. Blocks the charge perfectly here. Very nice. Blocks the charge here. Very nice. But again, see, here's a good engagement for Soap, right? Because yes, he's going to eat shit on his Kaz. His Kaz is going to get absolutely fucked. But he got into the Axe Warrior, blocked the charge. Sutari going to get a clean charge. Here, nice Pila volley. But again, Celtic Warrior, maybe Sofado's a little slow. There's a lot to micro. Soap has just clicked attack orders at the start of the game, right? Also, this aggression is putting the Tarentines kind of out of business, right? There's just Kataria Spear back here. There's nothing for them to really do. They would be more serviceable on the flanks here. To, like, for example, Pila the Cav. But he couldn't have really known that. I mean, maybe he could have looking at the deployment, but he did his usual thing of going behind. And that's not really going to pay off here. So, this Celtic Warrior, again, this Celtiberian Cav is going to get fucked by this Pila. Probably if Pila here, probably a charge. But it will knock over a fuck ton of these Celtic Warriors, do a lot of damage, and then this Gutaria is just going to get in clean and clean house. And there's only one Cav here, so another Cav charge could come here, right? This, again, this Cav is out of place. This Cav should have been blocking this Cav, and then this Lancer would block this, and then the General comes in, just fucking peel it, whatever. Over here, though, the engagements were better. Clean charge for the Lancers here, infantry support on the way, more Cav, more infantry on the flank, Tarentines behind. So, on this flank it's looking a little rough, but Sofado is also doing damage, right? So it's not as bad, because the Pila is much more devastating against these Celtiberians, because Hippeus Lancer charge will just decimate injured Celtiberian Cav. Whereas we saw that slightly injured Hippeus were able to still defeat the Celtiberian Cav pretty handily. So we'll see what happens here as the charges come through. Actually, doesn't... Whoa, I don't know what he's doing here. These guys should get Capilla as well. I don't know why you didn't commit into this charge. He just charges the Levy Freeman, but the Levy Freeman don't even matter. The Pula will come in here, absolutely decimate the rear of these units. No missile block chance at all. In the rear, these guys just get 10 kills. Pretty much insta. Here again, decent charge in the center where there's only one to Hippeus. Hippeus actually eating a lot of damage as well, doing good damage in return. But now look, again, the infantry at least are getting pretty decent charge still, though. The Hippeus are pretty healthy. Here, Soft could actually just try it backed up here and just charged. But again, these engagements looking good on the flank. Center engagements looking good for Soap. This side now actually looking decent for Soft because he's going to get a charge here probably. But now he has the Scutaria Spears, which can then come in, and while the engagements are hot with the infantry, these spears are a huge advantage, the 4 Scutaria Spears, so maybe he can get some counterplay there. Again, Soap not microing this very well, gonna get absolutely ass blasted. We know that, yeah, 30 units die on the charge to the base Lancers, so the Celtic Warriors gonna cook. Whereas these guys are only medium, right? So it is good to knock them over, and of course it allows your painted warriors Scutaria to get a free charge, but it's not as devastating. Oh, big miss micro here from Soft. This is actually maybe a game losing a whole Lancer. Literally a whole Lancer for nothing. 15 kills, yeah, they were literally 40 men, 50 men there. and they just died for free. That sucks. If he got like charged on the Celtiberian, even would have been worth. But here he's got some ping pong action. The Massilian general though is not having a good time. He needs to pull out ASAP here before he just dies, because the Skitaria Spears are having their way with the Massilian general, and if he dies, well, it should just be all over, honestly, especially with the scare. Yeah, and even these left-sided engagements turned out well. Again, the Axe Warriors, sorry, here are just dying so fast as they got charged. Massilian Cav finally coming back in, but yeah, you can see I think Sop was caught off a little bit by this aggression. He was playing wide, he was playing his normal game plan to flank and get good charges, but Soap just blitzed him before he was really ready, and so he had a lot of units out of position. Tarentines and Massilian Cav, I think, were the main culprits, which meant that Soap got a lot of charges into infantry, and allowed his infantry to just win. And yes, there are some healthy Lancers, you know, and there would have been another healthy one if it didn't die to the Cav, but at the same time, there's also a lot of healthy infantry and spears with a lot of Pila, and there's some depleted Cav that can support those fights. And now that there's like almost no infantry left, like less infantry left for Massilia, right? It's going to be Cav and infantry for Arevaci against mostly depleted, like, you know, depleted or like pretty healthy Lancers. But of course, the combo, the combined arms approach is going to be superior in these fights most likely, because these infantry are still pretty healthy, the Cav is still healthy to tie them down, force them to stay in the melee. And now it's Soap who's getting the root charges. Yeah, mostly with infantry, but still quite devastating. I think, yeah, Soft will rue wasting his gen, wasting the Tarentines a little bit, or not using the Tarentines optimally, and allowing a few too many charges. He has the Cav numbers, it's 6 versus 6, right? So he has, in theory, the Cav numbers to block everything, he just didn't. And I think if he gets the perfect charges and just blocks everywhere, I think he'll be fine. But it will at least be an interesting one to see. I think this game Soap just got the better of the engagements, but it's yet to be seen if directly having a Cav fight at the start is better for Soap than allowing the Skitaria Spears to eat the charge, right? That allowing the Skitaria Spears to eat the charge lost Soap 2 games in a row. This game went better, although I think it was mostly maybe like the change of strat kind of caught Soft off guard. He got way better engagements, Soap here, so it's not really, I don't think it was really a function of the strat as much as it was the engagements. So I want to see the same strat employed by both players, but maybe executed slightly better by Soph. And even still, Soph is getting some counterplay on this flank with his Cav now. You know, his Cav is now the dominant force on the field, right? There's only 2 Cav, and remember, he lost a lot of Tarentines for no, or for no reason. But there's not enough Cav on the field to turn this in the favor of Soph for sure. If he hadn't lost that full Cav in the center, it would have been super different, because he would have crushed the enemy Cav, and he could have kept moving around, kept ping-ponging, deleting units much faster, and he probably would have had slightly more infantry and also slightly more Cav as well for this end game. And then it would be like, you know, the left half versus the right half, and it would be pretty close. But yeah, I think in this situation, there's pretty much no hope. There's the healthy general. Actually, is probably the strongest Cav unit on the field. 98 kills with a chevron, so he's killed a good amount of Cav as well. And yeah, this time it was the combo of infantry and Cav for Arevaci that was supporting each other, whereas it felt like the Massilian infantry was left a little bit isolated, just because they got hit on the charge, right? And the Lancers didn't have time to surround, they didn't have time to activate before the infantry. Like, these infantry units are quite weak, right? Like, these are low tiers, essentially, so even if they have good stats for low tiers, they can't afford to eat charges. Like, they're just gonna die to the superior infantry when they get knocked over by a Celtiberian charge. They need at least the Hiss to block the charges for them. Otherwise, it's just like the Hiss don't have time to activate themselves into the battle. Like, they're just going to get run over. Now the infantry line's get run over, and then there's too much infantry left. So, well played to Soap that game. He changed it up. He stays alive. 2-1 down now. And we run it back, so I wonder if we change anything. Nope, both sides seem pretty happy. Yeah, both sides are quite content. So we run it back with the same armies. I think you can see, like, Sofado's a bit more inside with his Lancers this time. Soap goes for the same thing, infantry in front. Yeah, I think, yeah, so you can see, like, Soft is more prepared for these charges, I would say. I would say, though, like, it might benefit Soft to even go more aggressive. Like, I think the more aggressive he goes, he has a chance of knocking over infantry, which is really valuable, or he just gets a fight in the open, cav versus cav, which is a clean charge, no pila involved, which means that the Celtiberians are going to die. I say it's in the open because if the Celtiberians wait too long and they try to fight like right in front of the infantry, then models of the Lancer unit are going to hit the, the infantry behind. So that could be favorable for Sov, just to don't get caught, don't let any of your infantry get caught, just send it forward. Maybe he can afford to even put the Levy Freeman on the flank, right? Because he knows he's going to go forward with his cav. He's not going to let the Celtiberians charge. I mean, maybe he could let them charge Levy Freeman, I guess, I don't know. I feel like it's better for him to, like, maybe put some of the Levy Freeman on the flank and just surround with them. Just be annoying. He might want them inside, though, to just plug gaps and stuff. That's completely understandable. Outside, they are annoying, but they don't really help you with very much, except to support your cab. Basically, what I'm saying they would do is after the charges go through, right, both cab charge, blah, 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 then the Hippeus are going to want to activate on the flanks, right? Well, that's where they can get more simple engagements. The center is going to be kind of locked by the infantry battle, and it's going to be on the Hippeus to move into the flanks and destroy isolated units, because otherwise the infantry, again, both sides will get a clean charge if the cav lock horns in the center. And so the infantry for Slav's going to lose, right? So he'll need his Lancers to activate on the flank, so having the Levy Freeman prematurely over there will help him get more charges, right? Because then you can charge Scutari Spears and follow up with Levy Freeman. Whereas if you have to wait for the Levy Freeman to get all the way out there, it's going to take you a bit longer. So that could be a useful thing. Maybe just, 2 Levy Freemen, 1 on each flank, and keep 2 in the center. And you have your 8 infantry against 7 in the center, so you have an advantage there as well. So on one flank, you're going to get an infantry into a clean fight against a spear, and that starts to, give you advantages that you can work with. Nice early Pila, so Soft getting back to his ways of Pilaing Cav, or Javelin Cav with the Tarentines. And they're loving life, so that's good, but here come the charges. You can see that Soft is, I can already tell that, Mr. Soap is giving a bunch of attack orders. He recognizes here. Does he recognize here? He's pulling back, but he needs his cab to go forward. You can't let the Celtic warrior get charged. Even now, it's probably too late, right? If he clicks an attack order here, this way, to attack this unit, some of these models are going to hit the Celtic warrior and do not massive damage, but damage that should not be taken, right? Ideally, and again, these Lancers aren't going to get a good charge. Like, if the cab hits this Levy Freeman, the counter charge will be nice, but it's not going to be as devastating as if it was a clean charge because you're charging through your own men. Here in the center, I think he has time to react still. Here, it looks like he'll actually get it away, and even if he charges Levy Freeman, it doesn't really matter. And here, he's going to give up a downhill charge, so he probably wants to just get out of here, if possible. So let's see how these charges go. I'm going to look over here first. Pila? Okay, he's going to get Pila off with the Levy Freeman. I think that's fine. Only 1 kill, though. It wasn't a clean volley. Okay, he actually did pretty much block, but you can see, look. Some Celtiberians hitting the back of these Celtic warriors. You do not want to see that at all. Men instantly dying. And yes, you're blocking the charge with a Massilian cav, but these Celtics are going to take impact damage. And look at the follow-up. Perfect from the Scutaria. Over here, it looks like, yeah, again, Celtic warrior getting hammered by a downhill charge. It's not really that downhill, but it is a little downhill. Levy Freemen are going to, sure, they're going to get a Pila, but the damage is already done. This Celtic warrior is a goner to this Scutaria. So that's not great. And are the Celtics going to throw their Pila? Okay, he's going to throw it into the back of the Scutaria with a Pila at the cav, though. Because as soon as they throw their Pila, which I guess they're not doing, or maybe they already did throw their Pila. But they're not going to do anything against these Scutaria. Here, Tarentine sniped these guys, but look, again, Celtic Warriors just insta-dying. Here, it looks like a Lancer, no, wasn't able to get a good charge, or no, maybe he was able to charge a Celtiberian, hard to say. I see some dead cav here. Right, so probably there was a charge. But there's also, oh, Levy Freeman got charged, that's what happened, okay. But now, like, these good painted warriors are gonna crush the axe warriors. Here again, Celtic warrior dead, this Massilian cav now isolated, dead. And nothing happening in the center, and that's fine for Soap, because Soap knows he's winning on the edges, right? This unit's yellow morale, but it's probably actually owning, yeah, it's owning. Good charge from the Lancers, but again, it's only on the spears, so here's okay. And because Soap's getting some better counterplay, it's okay now to lose some Scutaria spears to the cav. Because now he's winning in other places, right? He's not losing everywhere. So this is fine. Like, these axe warriors will do great. This painted warrior probably lose the Massilian hoplite, but they got 11 kills on these cav, and these spears are still going to win, right? So or still be alive, sorry. Over here, there's nothing to do. He has to, like, completely abandon this flank and just rush to the right if he wants any chance, because this is overwhelming numbers, and you're not going to be able to stop this. Turrentine's getting good value, though. Could snipe the next slinger in a second. Gonna get a nice Massilian Hoplite charge into the flank of these Painted Warriors. We're not charging them, they're charging the Axe Warriors. But the Axe Warriors are on the hill, so I think this whole engagement should be decent. First off, his Massilian Cav can probably backstab here, rear charge this unit, try to kill it off, give your Celtic Warriors some respite, and then maybe your Lancer can shove through the flank and maybe get some action and try to kill this blob off. Here your Lancers are actually engaging and actually doing quite well. Although these Katari are still gonna get a clean charge. It's not great, but you can recharge that in a second. Again, you should try to kill it. He has to try to kill some cav, I think, here. Nice javelins on the gen. Sofado gets into a good formation to just brace against this charge as well, so that should be fine. Some healthy Lancers, although this Lancer in a terrible fight. Oh, he's trying to get infantry support, actually, so that's kind of okay. I like this. Because these guys ate the charge. They're not going to be healthy. And Sof can actually charge this cav and kill it off. So this is a good engagement. This is actually a really nice engagement. So Sof actually might turn the tides over here, but this Lancer is probably going to be a goner because it's just going to be surrounded. It's going to mean that this infantry will do quite well. He probably trades this off and his infantry is the winner here. Lancer, free reign here. The general, whatever. This Massilian Hoplite is going to die eventually. But if Sof can get some counterplay on this flank, he has a chance. He needs to kill this unit off, and then he needs to somehow get through these spears. They're very depleted, so this should be kind of easy. Because this Painted Warrior is pretty much dead. You should get a free charge here on this cav. Once this cav is dead, things will really very much free up. But the Tarentine is getting caught as well, so that's not great. Axe Warrior, full Axe Warrior gonna crush here. And this Lancer again, whatever, it's gonna trade down. It's kind of okay. There's still very healthy Lancers here, so but the Lancers need to activate in the right areas, right? If they don't charge the right points of the battlefield, there's 3 healthy Lancers. If they don't charge the right places, they're just gonna, basically die for nothing. Soft does a nice job, gets 2 charges here, crushes this Katari. There's Levy Freeman in support. But again, he needs to connect his units, he needs to bring them together. Activate in the same region of the battlefield. Here, now these guys are just alone. They're gonna die. The gen's gonna go down probably. Maybe this Lancer can come save them though. But again, why are we split up here? We need everyone to be fighting in the same areas. All 3 of these Lancers killed this, and this. And then this fight is going to go kind of okay, right? Because this Axe Warrior is going to be fine. Who cares if you lose the middle? Yes, the General was there, but the General didn't lose men to the Lancer. It got peeled by Levy Freeman. So I feel like he could just dominate this side of the battlefield, and then whatever happens on the other side is fine. Because you're going to win this flank, which is going to be so far away from the battle, it'll be hard for anything to, get over here and finish off this Axe Warrior, right? Like, the cav is going to be very far away, and the Lancers can kind of screen. So this will be fine. The Celtic Warrior came back with 60 men as well, so this will be fine. Give up the center, give up these units, maybe even have to give up this unit, but kill this flank. I think that was the key, was to kill this flank where he had his Lancers were close to it. It was like 3 Lancers like this. Instead of spreading out, just kill these units, get free charges, because the good thing was these cav were not very healthy. There's 1 healthy cav, but there were 3 healthy Lancers. He could have easily just smoked these units, and then return to the center, or you go smoke the center. If you want to abandon this shit, sure, then go to the center, but all 3 Lancers need to go to the same location, because 1 Lancer alone was not enough in these situations, because there was infantry and cav, whereas if you had 2 Lancers, they could cycle charge, they could recharge each other, off of each other. So 1 cav charges here, the other guy comes from here, smack from all sides, just kill it very quickly. 1 Lancer, sure, was doing damage, but eventually just gets bogged down and killed, whereas, all 3 together could decisively rout units and finish off engagements. But Soap didn't really do that in this case, so allows Soap to kind of get back in the game. I think Soap got the better charges as well. Soft made some good mid-round plays. This was good play, but he really lost by losing the charges here and kind of on this side as well. He lost 2 Celtic Warriors for nothing, basically, just to the charges of the Celtic Iberian Cav, basically. The General, they're going for a risky engagement here. If there's Pila, he just loses the game instantly, or loses the gen anyway. Still not going to be good, doesn't really kill anything. Axe Warrior, there's Celtic here, Axe here, good Cav here. But unless he can win this fight, 70, 64, and 46, there's only 1 Massilia Hoplite, it's 80 men, so decent. But again, it's just so spread out. He's fighting everywhere, and everywhere there's a lot of good mid-tiers for Arevaci, and there's only cav for Massilia. Like, he needs to group up, use the mobility of the Lancers to group up and kill mid-tiers of Arevaci without them getting any value, basically. Whereas he's letting them get value by just existing and fighting, right? Nice cycle charge here. Well, maybe not a cycle charge, I guess it's just a charge. But it's a painted word, or it's Scutari. Okay, well, it's Scutari, but it's a downhill charge, so yeah, I mean, these Massilian hoplites have no hope against double their numbers. Fighting uphill as well. But yeah, he just wasn't able to group up. I think that was the key. Allowed Arevaci Soap just to maintain. Like Soap, he got the better of the engagements at the start, so he didn't need to do anything special to win the game. He just needed to take the fights as they came, and eventually he would just win because he had more numbers, right? Like because of the initial engagements. Whereas Sofado had to make something happen to even out the mistakes that he made at the start of the game, and he wasn't able to do that quite. Not an easy thing to do for sure. I think the initial engagements are the decisive ones a lot of the time, but he maybe had some counterplay with those three lancers. Just there was three fights, left, right, and center. Choose. Well, you couldn't choose his right because it was too far away, but center or left, you just had to kill with all three lancers and then move on to the next target. Just use the three lancers as a battering ram, unstoppable force. And there was not. It's not like it was just the lancers. There was the general. There was some supporting infantry that were freeing up from fights. And if you use the lancers to free up more infantry, then you have a snowball effect where you kill in infantry, you get a free, maybe your Celtic warrior gets freed up after, the Scutari got recharged and died. Then you have a Celtic warrior to support your next fight. And you kind of snowball that into, like, saving half of your army. And then, maybe you have enough to kill, well, the remnants of Arevaci. But 2-2 now, so we go to game 5 on Nemesis Senna. And now it's Sofado who has something to think about here. Does he want to change something? The first game he lost, okay, he just lost the initial engagement pretty decisively. This game, he still kind of fucked up the initial engagement, so maybe he's gonna say, nah, it's fine, we run it back. But maybe he says, no, I need to change X, Y, or Z. I'm not really sure what that would be. Perhaps one less Tarantine would be an option. But I think he's been getting really good value with the Tarantines. Not really because they're that, I mean, they're good. He's using them well, but Soap is also letting him get value on the Cav early on in the game, for example. So maybe the Tarantines are not something you want to mess with here, but you could bring an extra Massilian Cav, for example, just to make sure you have better engagements with your Cav. But no, he goes for the same army. Completely understandable. And we go into game number 5. Alright, so here we go. On Nemesis, no hills to be found this time. And the armies are looking very much the same. It's going to be a very similar approach. I think Soft this time, he must be prepared for the charge of Soap. He needs to get his charge off. No matter what, just make sure your Cav gets the initial charge. At worst, you're going to trade with his Cav. At best, you're going to get into his infantry. And I think both of those things are quite okay for Soft. Once he gets that off, then he has to work the mid game, kind of like he did last game, honestly. I think that was completely fine. Find positions for your Lancers to get good engagements, because your infantry is eventually going to lose if they don't, right? Early shots into the Scutari Spears this time. Soft is willing to take those. Fine. Chucking a few shots in there, no kills. Not bad shots, like sword shot, spear side shots here, non-shooting sides. And they'll be doing HP damage, and probably get some kills eventually. Oh, a big volley there. Only gets 4 kills, I mean. Orders understood. Gonna dump these Cav, but yeah, 4 losses. We'll waste a Pilo volley on the Scutari Spears, though could be valuable later on. Forward. And Soap probably just wants to get this party started. They're Tarantine using some shots. This time you can see Soft is more desperate to get shots on infantry, which I think is good. They're gonna take another Pilo volley, big volley there, but only 2 losses, so honestly acceptable value there. Wasting a Pilo volley. If he can waste that second volley, then he knows, right, that there's no Pilo on these edge units, which could be good. Now the Tarantines back to their ways. Soap a bit more aware, finally. Shouldn't be allowing these shots, but you might just get shots in the back of his infantry anyway. Not quite. But Soft not wasting the Pila. And Soft actually using this opportunity to pressure hard here. because he knew this cab was kind of running around. Maybe he's a little bit worried, microing other stuff, like microing his spears and stuff. So now we're just gonna get the engagements big time coming up here. You can see Soft pre-targeting Cav. He's ready for the fight. Here he knows that he can accept this charge on his Larry Freeman, but he does need to be careful if the charge comes this way. I mean, the Larry Freeman will get insane pilo if he does that. So maybe he's okay with it. Yeah, and you can see Soft's trying to be the aggressor. This is good. Here, though, this charge is not going to be good. There's no infantry support. Maybe this Larry Freeman can at least take the hit in the meantime. Good charge here from Soft. This will be a decent charge. I mean, if you can just get into the cab, but I worry that this unit is very isolated and could just die. If it gets a charge at all. Charge animation? Oh! Okay, you got the charge. Yeah. So that's good. Really nice charge from the Lancer here into 2 units. Absolutely decimating both. Axe we're gonna need a clean engage. But here, not good for Soft. Again, letting these Celtiberians just own the Celtic warriors. Not really good at all. Here though, this Celtiberian is gonna get owned. Trying to charge into Massilia Hoplite. So maybe a trade of ownage on both sides. Here, these Katara Spheres, I think they got a Pila Volley on the gen, looks like. Potentially here. But now they're going to get intercepted and destroyed by the Celtic Warriors. This unit is just off the field. Painted Warriors, 114, Axis, 118, Lancers getting much better trade here. Here again, sure, he might get a good charge here, but it's only a Massilia Hoplite. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world if he gets charged. Maybe he should have just braced for it. But, you know, he'll take that. Maybe the counter charge can get some damage at least. Here, nice job from the Larry Freeman. Gonna get some Pila into the general. That's a full Pila Volley. It's a very nice Pila Volley. Gonna do 3 kills only, but sure, and also saved his Axe Warrior. But still, I feel like the engagements have been actually pretty decent for Soap. Here, this Larry Freeman has to save the Lancer. The Lancer lost 7 men, so this trade is not really great. 13 losses here, only 4 losses here, so that trade is pretty good. Here, this Lancer down, or this Cab down 13 men. Here, Massilian Cab is going to finish this unit off and actually kill it probably, so that's actually very nice. But the Skitarii are going to probably, oh no, they're getting hit by the, they're actually getting hit by the Lancer, so they're gonna get owned. These Lancers should get 30 kills, so we know to expect that pretty much. Maybe not 30, because a lot of the units actually dodge the charge. You can see some of these guys. Oh, fuck. But yeah, some of these Cab are actually missing the charge. They might not get quite 30 kills, but this is a depleted Celtic Works. It got charged by this Massilian, this Celtiberian Cab, right? So who knew that fight should still be in favor of the Skitarii, but it's still a good trade, right? Because he's gonna get in for free. And now he has a lot of infantry in the center to bust through here and potentially with his Tarantine knock out all these units. Again, he needs to activate on one side with his Lancers. He's going to have a full Lancer here, 60-man Lancer here, 2 full Lancers. This side, and he's winning this fight with the Massilian Cav. This whole side of the battle should die, and Sofado should win here. This side's a bit more dicey, right? Like, there's a Skitaria and a Skitaria Spear. Okay, there's only a Levy Freeman to slow them down. Larry Freeman will have to be sacrificed so this Lancer can survive. That's completely fine. Here, okay, Celtic Warrior is going to be pretty much full. We're going to kill off this Skitaria Spear. Nice. Painted Warrior should win here. And Skitaria should win here. And, you know, of course, this is just Larry Freeman. So, Sofado, I mean, okay, maybe there is actually an Axe Warrior coming in, but this is still a good fight for Arevaci. Honestly, if I'm Sofado, I'm not even fighting here. I'm just going to run away. Let these Larry Freeman die. Maybe take this fight, you know, because his Lancer could recharge here or something. He could charge in, and then his Lancer could go here, and then clean up the rest of this fight with this Lancer, this Massilian Cav, and these 2 units, and the Tarantine, right? So I feel like Soft's in a decent position here, but he really needs to abandon this side. Kill this unit, sure. Let this Axe Warrior die, it'll do some damage. Slowly Freeman will hold off this blob. And there's no, like, these guys will at least get to fight. Like, they're not going to get rear charged. There's going to be, like, the General and maybe 1 Lancer to support. But he wants to shift his momentum to this side of the battlefield and crush this side of the battlefield as fast as possible, in my opinion. So here come the charges. He's gonna actually, yeah, he's gonna save this Axe Warrior. I like it. Massilian Hoplite's gonna die, whatever. They have the wrong attack order, so they're mega dead. We're gonna start a fight now, but yeah, nothing to do. Okay, he's just gonna go for the engagement. He doesn't decide to recharge this unit. I think I would have done that, but the General was close by. These units were close by. I kind of understand that. Don't do that, but definitely recharge here. He's doing that. Gets a really great engagement here. You can see these Celtiberians just dying. However, these spears are engaging themselves in the fight. These Tarantines need to recharge this fight ASAP. They need to recharge these fights ASAP. Stop going to the left, just go to the right, kill these units off, give yourself an advantage there. Other turn time, sniping the slinger, but probably gonna die, so probably bad value. This lancer gets good charges here, and that's fine. Gets out pretty clean. Again, I wouldn't even fight here with the Celtic. Just run away. This is a terrible fight for the Celtic to take. This turn time going to go down with very little value. Killing a slinger is like whatever. The general, though, already taking quite a few losses. But here, again, he ends up fighting this Axe Warrior. But okay, he got the recharge here, and you can look at the damage. Like, this is critical. Critical damage there. Just running away from the general, absolutely fine decision. Massilian general is here just supporting fights. Could battle rhythm this, maybe. Lancer gonna crush, well, let's see the men. It's 27 men, but it's gonna get a good fight here and do a lot of damage. Other Lancer gonna try and get in here, but again, he's isolating himself from where he has the advantage. He has the advantage over here. These Celtiberians and Massilian have traded. This Massilian hoplane ends up winning because of the rear charges. And now he can really, again, just kill everything on this link. The general will probably be able to get away, but kill this unit, maybe. Maybe he doesn't have to kill this spear, he can just run away from it. Lancer trading down. Actually, yeah, I can see the his Lancer just owns the Celtiberian Cav. Super high value. This Skitaria Spear actually is the other Skitaria Spear, 90 men, 70, 64. So close fights. This Lancer winning is big. Go kill the Slinger. Turn time behind. Oh, General, big threat here as well. Axe Warrior is gonna clean up this blob. Massilian Hoplite's cleaning up this side. And the center is pretty close. 44. So Axis is winning here. Skitaria are winning here. And surely these Axes will be winning here in a second. Dodges this Peel Volley from the Skitaria Spears, which is huge. Meaning that, you know, this Lancer can live on 30 men. Gonna get nice rear charges here, and even if these Skitaria will still win, but this is really good damage, just free damage basically. The general can't really get pinned down into any fight because he's worried about him dying. Neither can the Massilian general, however, really. Another really big Peel Volley, absolutely big Peel Volley there from the Levy Freeman. 6 kills, but 6 kills on important units there. And it's just a scrappy fight. Like, there's little infantry nubs everywhere for both sides. 50 men, 30 men, 50 men, 58, 63, 44, 61, 50, 75, and 27. So this is the biggest infantry unit on the field at 75. There's some spears with more men. Oh, Massilian Gen takes a Pila, but he should be able to get out of there. Yeah, second win. Just get out of there ASAP. Now the general is the target, though. So he needs to be careful here. He can take a Pila volley. And turns out there's no Pila here. But the general could get caught. At least gonna lose some men here. Oh, Soap doing some good micro. And actually baits this Lancer into a Pila volley. Actually doesn't kill anything somehow. HP damage for sure. These Lancers end up cleaning a fight. There is this big Celtiberian Cav, 42 men. Actually, the general dies for Soap at 27 men. That's super unfortunate. I'm not sure if we're going to be able to find him. But yeah, that means the morale is going to start to be a big issue for Arevaci, whereas not really for Massilia, especially with these Lancers and their encourage about. The general, very safe over here at 25 men. And yeah, now these Lancers will get a charge probably into these Celtiberians who are fighting over here. And yeah, if this Celtiberian dies. Oh no, he actually decides to turn and face the general and just kill the general, I guess. Well, the general's already dead, but we need it. Pila comes in, 27 men, 19 men, but these Axes will start cooking this engagement. These Skitaria Spears, they're stabilizing. The general recently died penalty is gone to just died. So, yeah, things are stabilizing. And I mean, we take stock of the situation, like, this Skitaria, oh actually there's a 78 man Skitaria over here. This is a super healthy unit. 57 Axes, 50 Massilian Hoplites. Let's just literally count numbers, like 57 to 107, let's say. 110, 160. Lancer. 160, 192. 225 Massilian infantrymen, mostly Axe Warriors. 50 Massilian Hoplites. There are 78 Skitarii. And 51, so 120 Skitarii, and then a bunch of spears. 44, 47, so that's 81. Iberian spears, I'm not even gonna really count. 70 though. So yeah, 150 spears and 120 swords. So there are more men on the field in terms of infantry for Arevaci. The quality, though, is mostly in the favor of Massilia. I mean, the Axe Warriors are worse than the Scutaria, but there's a lot more axes than there are Scutaria, and there's also 50 Massilian hoplites, which are better than the 50 Scutaria, right? So, and there's also this, yeah, there's an Iberian Spear in here as well, but the other thing is the Cav is drastically in the favor of Massilia. He's got the Tarentine at 24, he's got the General at 25, and whatever can remain of these Hippeus Lancers might be nothing when all is said and done. The other thing is that Massilia is concentrated, whereas Arevaci is not, right? So he has the opportunity to win some engagements here before the 78. I mean, this is the most important unit on the field, and it's fucking in the middle of nowhere, right? So these Axis and Massilian hoplites are fighting vastly inferior units, well, the best and most important units out of the way, although this isolated Axe Warrior is also going to die. The other thing is fatigue. These guys are very tired. They may be exhausted before they get into combat. Very tired, tired. I mean, everything is very tired pretty much, especially things that have been in combat. But their second wind on the general here. And now the Massilian cab is dead except for the general and the Tarentine, but that's still the only cab on the field. I mean, this no horse is gonna die. And so it's just gonna be a blob fight for the win, but you really have to favor Massilia here, almost certainly, because they have the cav and the morale advantage, right? So here we go, fight it up. Noble Horse gonna get overcharged. The big Scutari unit is gonna get in. And Sofado is wisely saying, I'm not gonna take this fight. I have second wind. My cav is a little busy right now. Let me get my charge with my cav, surround, and then take the fight, right? No need to rush this engagement. Of course, he might get attacked in the rear and potentially break, but he smartly just takes the charge. Decent charge from the Tarentines. I mean, again, they're super useful at this phase of the battle, but the general is the most important thing here. The Massilian hoplites, though, they are exhausted. They are not having a good time just losing. So it's actually going to come down to a very crazy fight here. Massilian hoplites, 27 men. Might just break, though. 57 and 38 makes 95 Axe Warriors against 71 and 48. So plus 67. So almost 200 men against roughly 100 plus the 25 cav and the 27 Massilian hoplites, which may just die here. But the morale and potentially the fatigue will be a problem here. The charges are coming in from the Gen. There's no Pila probably on anyone here, so it's a pretty safe charge. South's general dies. It's definitely over. But he's looking and he's getting out of there. The Massilian cav, or Tarentine cav charges again. And you can see the morale is just not too hot. 40 against 50. And he freshens up. This is a good choice from Sofado. Not to freshen up this unit, but freshen up the unit that's winning in the odds of killing this unit and just routing it, right? And then getting into the other unit later. The spears are trying to, support against the cabs. These Tarentines are trying to get into the rear of this Scutaria and just kill it off. And now these axes are, they say they're losing decisively, but I don't think that's actually the case. You can see that it's actually, maybe. Since Scutaria just breaks, I mean, it didn't have many men left. 29 men, it just breaks with all the fatigue penalty is huge here. They're fighting at 50% of their capacity. They're minus, like, I think 15 morale, or maybe 30 morale. And the general is dead, and they're barbarian units, so that all adds up, and now you can see the scales are tipping in Sofado's favor, and they will not be denied. As these Scutaria are just breaking, they're now vastly outnumbered by the Axe Warriors. And Sofado takes a hotly contested game. But I think he just did, I think this was a very similar game to last game, game 4, but he was just slightly better with his initial engagements were better. Got better charges, but B, I think he made slightly better decisions in the mid game. I still think he could have been a little more decisive in taking a single side and just saving units and not sacrificing them. But he was more grouped up on the right this time, won that side and then came back to the left. And I think that ultimately helped him out a little bit. Although, both sides obviously were very, very close to victory. I think from Soap's side, he will be a little upset that he allowed the Hippeus to get so many charges on his infantry at the very start of the game. There were some very nice charges in the center and center left from Sofado's POV, where he connected some nice charges, and he also wasted a few units just in fights that were hopeless, like the Scutaria Spear just died to a Celtic Warrior on Sofado's far left, for example. And then isolated, and got kind of isolated. His general died, and his general died. The gen death was unlucky, but the unit kind of died in circumstances where it was not very good to die in. You just let the unit get charged by Lancer, and then sure, like trained out a Lancer, but that was his most important cav unit. Probably could have got more value, whereas Sofado has general in the late game. So yeah, very, very close series. I mean, very well played at both players. It's easy to criticize in the replay, but obviously the micro is very much intense. There's a whole line of 8 units across and seven, 6 or 7 cav, right? Just fully charging. So just to micro all that is not easy. In fact, you would probably say it's almost impossible to nail all the charges the way that you want them. So of course, some things are going to be left to dry. But I think both players handled it pretty well. So well played. Soap unfortunately will drop down to the lower bracket, but I mean, I think if he plays like this, or maybe even a little bit better, then he has certainly chances, especially with that faction, to make it back to the final. And Soft will continue on. Um, and he had another banger series against Semi Naked. Maybe I'll try to cover that as well. Anyway, look at the stats. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this series. Hope you guys enjoyed. More con content all the way soon. Thanks for watching, and see you guys in the next one. Peace.